I'm going to show you how to use the right fundamentals to create a square nail with a tapered free edge. It's my signature look. First thing, we're going to get our form. I've already prepped the nail, removed the shine, cleaned it, protein bond twice. We're going to take our form, and this time I am going to, again, when I pinch the front of the form, I want to try to create as much C-curve as I possibly can. I'm not going to pinch the whole entire thing like I did a stiletto nail. I need to be able to create a platform to create a square tip, okay? So once I open this up and I come underneath, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to flatten it out so it's going to be very easy for me to get underneath. I'm going to tilt it forward, right? And then that way I'm going to be able to mount this flush underneath the free edge the best I possibly can, right? We need to make sure that our growth channels are going to be dead straight coming out. I'm going to be using Cover Rosebud to build the free edge first. This is going to set us up to build the shape properly in order to do the overlay well. I'm going to submerge my brush. I'm going to get enough liquid in here that when I pull down and bounce, 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 I'm going to be able to get a nice bead on one side of my brush. I'm going to release the excess liquid from the back of the brush so I have a clay-like consistency. I'm going to set this to the front. I'm going to release, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to walk down the side. I'm going to get it even with the growth channel. I'm going to walk it from the top. Now you'll notice, right, once I attach it to the corner, I'm going to walk back over the top. Even with the growth channel, this top part of the bead is where I start to walk up to the corner. Now you can see I'm already in a very, very square, all right, free edge. I'm going to brush this out to get the desired length. And then again, what I want to be able to do is use the side of my brush and walk over the top to maintain a very, very square tip. And we want to try to build as square of a free edge as we possibly can. All right. Now, again, I brush this out because I'm going to use the side of my brush just to square off the front end the best as possible. And you can see how we have a nice even structure from side to side, all right, dead square from the top off the growth channels. And you notice that I'm constantly walking my brush over the top to maintain an even structure from side to side. You can see from the end of the growth channel all the way out to the side is dead even. Okay, now we're setting ourselves up for an overlay. And again, right, I'll show you guys a really cool trick. If you decide to pre-pinch the tip before you go into an overlay, you can get a small bead, right? I can set it right here, just like this, just right over this spot, right? And then if I choose to pinch this into a deeper C-curve, you can see I have a full well tip over the front end of the nail. If I allow that to dry, I can remove the form, and then what we can do is we can pinch this to get a deeper C-curve. We're not going to go into that advanced technique. We're going to stick with a basic overlay and then finish it into perfection. Let's go right into the overlay. I'm going to submerge my brush, make sure the powder is flat. I'm going to submerge my brush. I'm going to get myself a large enough bead. I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, and release with the finger pointed down towards the towel. This is going to give me just enough space for me to lightly kind of slide this as close to the cuticle as I possibly can as the bead moves down towards the stress area. I'm going to start pulling from the front of the bead to start blending it into the tip. All right, this is going to shape our upper arch really, really well. And you notice that it's going to pull into the tip, blending in absolutely perfect. You could choose to use the body to walk over the top if you need to redistribute some of that thickness back so that we can maintain a great upper arch. As you can see, everything is blending well. The only thing what we have to do now is fill in the remaining space on the front. So I'm not going to touch the back. The back is set, right? Everything is perfect, but I need to fill this front end. So I'm going to flatten out my powder, submerge my brush. I'm going to pick up a blending bead. Right here in between the body and the tip, I'm gonna set this down. I'm gonna blend it back. It's going to leave the excess in the front. And then what we're going to do is use the body of the brush, and all I have to do is start to walk over the top, and it will naturally blend into all that negative space, filling it in, right, and creating a perfect shape for you to file into perfection. You could choose to brush back if you want, right, to make sure it's perfect, but you can see that all I'm doing is using the body of my brush and walking it from side to side to fill this. All right, now that it's in form, we're gonna wait till this dries, and we're gonna file it into perfection. All right, once the product dries, we're gonna release the form, and we're going to do our perimeter shaping first. Right, so I need to keep my file as dead square to the side walls as possible. You'll notice that if I keep my files dead square, I'm going to be able to build a really, really straight shelf from all the way from the front to the back. So my signature filing from the front is not to keep it dead square. This is where the tapering comes in. I'm going to angle my file just like this. And what we're going to do is we're going to taper the front end, right? So I have it square on both sides, and then what we're going to do is we're just going to taper the front end. You can see how it cuts at this angle. Now to get the lower arch straight, again, I need to line the file at the lowest point. We need to file up until we reach the end of the growth channel. Boom. So you can see that we have a really, really straight extension from the end of the growth channel all the way out to the end of the tip. Another way, again, is by taking the hand, turning it to the side, lining it up at the lowest point. Don't start from the corner and file in. Start from that lowest point parallel to the growth channel and continue to file up until the lower arch reaches the end. This is going to keep them absolutely straight. All right, so once we have the perimeter filed into perfection, we're gonna reduce the bulk from the surface by using our electric file. It'll give us the opportunity to refine it with our hand file at the last step. I'm gonna turn on my electric file to about 14,000 RPMs. First thing we need to do is take a look at the side. I need to reduce a little bit of bulk in the upper arch. I don't really need much. You can see I'm gonna file right through that point, making sure that we bring it all the way to the front to create great upper arch. I'm gonna look down the barrel of the nail. Now again, I don't wanna go side to side. You can see if I'm filing towards myself, I'll be able to reduce the thickness from side to side. We can taper those really, really sharp edges to make it even on the free edge. We're trying to make this free edge as even as we can from side to side. When I'm doing the cuticle area, I want to just work in one direction, reducing some of the bulk. Okay, and then again, once we're done doing upper arch, the free edge, and the cuticle area, all I have to do is follow through the rest of the body to reduce the balance of the thickness. And this is going to set us up to refine it with our hand file into perfection. I like to start the cuticle area first and blend that. Remember, if your cuticle area is applied well, it's not going to take a lot of filing, just a couple of swoops around the left and right side to get it as flush to the natural nail as we possibly can. I like to break it down into two sections. I'll do my left side first. Notice I'm coming down this way to blend my left side. My right side, I keep contact with the top. I go into the nail, come down. I don't just go like this. I want to be able to kill two birds with one stone. And as you can see, I'm going up and coming down, right? To get that left side. Work back and forth from right to left. And then last but not least, I want to be able to turn the hand here, right, from this profile. And I just say, okay, like that is really straight on that side. I feel like it's a little thick right here on this point. So I'm looking down the barrel, line my file, trying to get it as even as I can on the sides. And then I can make my adjustment on the top by looking down the client profile to make sure that it's dead even. Last but not least, I like to rest my hand file and then just hold it on the surface. And that way I can kind of surf the top from side to side to make sure that the structure of the nail is going to be perfect looking from behind the nail. Boom. All right, let's just get this into perfection. I'm going to make sure, as you can see, everything is nice and straight all the way around. I'm gonna go ahead and apply protein bond over the surface of the nail, which is going to be the anchor to our top coat to prevent it chipping over the surface of the enhancement. You'll see what it looks like when it is topped and oiled.